Welcome back, YouTube channel subscribers. Tony Immediato, your real estate chef, here with my manager, broker, and partner, Dave Watlington here. We're going to go over our 302 market update and give you our forecast from the past and then into the future. So with that, Dave, welcome.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you having me on your channel. I've seen some of your previous episodes, which are very engaging and interesting, so I appreciate that. But hello, everyone. Just want to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Dave Watlington with Patterson-Schwartz Real Estate with the Middletown office, manager of that office. And we are locally owned and operated, situated in Middletown, located on Summit Bridge Road. Our hope today is really just to give you an idea of what transpired in 2020 and how things are going to look for 2021. So thanks for joining us. So in general, the market has been unprecedented in terms of the way that houses have sold, the time frame in which it has taken for them to sell, which was unexpected as a result of the pandemic. I think we all thought that the pandemic would have a significant negative impact on real estate, but it had quite the opposite impact, where inventory became even more scarce, demand became even stronger, which supply and demand ultimately resulted in increased prices. So,
which is wild on like our side. You know, you go to your listing appointments and you're educating your clients on everything from A to Z, and they're like, well, this is crazy, which it is, because of the fact it's almost like the buyers have kind of been in so much competition to where it's kind of pushed the market into actually a great market.
Yeah, I mean, for sellers, it's fantastic. I mean, they have multiple buyers for their house. Typically, any seller that comes on the market is going to have multiple interest on that property in today's market, which conversely makes it very challenging for buyers, because they can't just make a full price offer and expect to get the property. They're usually going to be in competition with at least one other, if not 5, 10, 15 other buyers for that same property. So it's been very, very frustrating for buyers
and for sellers and agents, because it's, you look at all these different offers that come in, and you really have to go through each and every one, because there's so much to it these days.
Oh yeah, there's so many different terms and conditions that can be introduced to a seller, making it a little bit challenging for them to make a decision, because we're seeing new terms and conditions we haven't seen in many, many years, probably prior to 2007, where we had the last fantastic real estate market of recent. So yeah, there's been new and creative terms and conditions being offered by buyers to separate themselves from the competition, which has proven successful for a lot of our buyers. But in some cases, there's just so many buyers, and sometimes you just can't compete with someone.
And with that being said, I mean, if you've had the thought of selling, now is the time to actually really get in contact with us, sit down, find out what everything is out there to offer. Because, I mean, the inventory is still so low, but the buyer's interest is so high. I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah, typically the market, people prepare for coming on the market in the spring or early summer. Given the current market conditions, if someone's considering selling, there's no better time than the present, because the buyer demand is still very strong. Sellers can still expect strong values for their properties. So if someone's ready, there's no point in waiting. It's really the time to get on the market.
And as we go through this, I will actually add in some of our graphs to show too, just so it's not all verbiage. I mean, we have great market updates that are provided through our system. I mean, it's one of the best things I like, to actually be able to show my clients, and actually year-end market updates to my community and other sphere people that I deal with on a regular basis. So it's been really engaging to actually show them the true numbers, because I can sit here and tell you, and you listen, but when you see the facts on a sheet of paper, I mean, it's very bit more informative.
Yeah, I mean, these market reports are designed to educate the consumer so they can make a good informed decision about selling their home. What market are they in? Because every market's different.
Yeah.
While the market's generally strong and hot everywhere in Delaware, there are different pockets that are experiencing different demand or different
Sure.
inventory. So
I mean, like in our market here in Middletown and Townsend and Odessa, our M.O.T area, I mean, our growth with new construction is there. So it's like you see the resale is kind of on a lower side, but you still have that growth with the new construction that is out there, but you have so many people that don't want to take the time and wait for the new construction to be built.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the resale is where most people are targeting because the time frame to build right now is extended. I mean, we dealt with a pandemic. We dealt with wildfires in California, so the cost and availability of building materials started to become more strict. So, builders are strategically releasing a certain number of lots. So there isn't a
overwhelming
abundance of available new construction right now, which is even more frustrating because usually that's an alternative option for buyers.
Yeah.
Now, if they need to move, they're focusing on resale because of the immediate availability of properties.
And then you have some of these buyers who have sold and they haven't found what they've wanted, so they've been forced into renting. But even our rental market is on an ultimate low because everything is so exorbitant.
Right. Yeah. So the seller really needs to have a plan of where they're going to go before they sell their property because, if they were to sell it at a price that's acceptable to them, but they can't find anywhere to go, that's a difficult situation.
Sure.
So we always want to know that our seller has somewhere to live before we put the house on the market.
That's for sure. You definitely have to have plan A, plan B, and plan C.
That's correct. Yeah. So in general, the market that our office is located, the one that Tony works in, and the other 51 agents in our office, it's their primary market. So we consider that the south of the canal market is in terms of the MLS area, which incorporates Middletown, Odessa, and Townsend areas. So statistically, from a year-to-date statistical number as it compares to the last previous year, the number of new listings in that area was down almost 7%. Closed sales were up about 2%, and homes that have gone under contract in that year were up 7.3%. Median income went from $331,900 to $345,000. I'm sorry, median sales price. My apologies. Which is up 4% from 2019.
Which is actually a pretty significant increase.
It is. I mean, it shows a shift in the value of property that's selling, which is a good sign of a strong market. And then the percent that a seller is receiving at the time of sale of their property of the original list price is at 99.2%, which is up about 2% from the previous year. I can tell you, if you have your feet on the ground like Tony and the other agents in our office, it feels like everything's selling at 100% or more. But that's an average for the entire area for the entire year, which incorporates all types of properties.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have some that have been on the market for 120 days, 200 days,
right.
And then you have others that are on the market for a day.
Right, correct. Yep, so good segue. Average days on market was 35 days in the year 2020. So from the time a house went on the market to the time it went under contract was 35 days, which seems long in a practical sense because it seems like everything was selling pretty much, 1, 2, 3 days,
48 hours over the weekend.
On the market. But as it relates to the previous year, that's down 35%, which was 54 days on market. So that's a significant change in 1 year. And that's really attributed to the supply and demand factor. Total inventory.
Now these numbers are crazy.
Yeah. So total inventory in the south of the canal market, there's only 60 homes for sale or properties for sale currently as of today.
Active properties.
Active properties. If I were to look at just the Middletown zip code, which is the largest geographic zip code in that area, there's only 40 houses for sale currently.
40.
So, I mean, in terms of how that relates to the population of the area, I mean, Newcastle County only has 654 properties for sale, and the county has over 55,000 in population. So, I'm sorry, 550,000 in population. So, it's really scarce out there. So if anybody is, considering a move, the market conditions are there to support a strong outcome for a seller. The buyers, unfortunately, it's challenging out there. There's no way around that. You just need to have a good agent in your corner who's doing everything they can to put you in a position to succeed with a strong offer, with minimal contingencies that is going to be appealing and acceptable to a seller.
Like I always tell my buyers too, if you sleep on it, you may never sleep in it.
That's
because
true.
This market is that intense.
Right. So as far as 2021, all indications are that the market's going to continue to remain pretty strong and solid. I mean,
looks like interest rates are going to stay at all-time low,
right.
which is great.
Yeah. The inventory doesn't seem to be picking up much at this point in time. Even if we were to get some new inventory this year, it probably isn't going to be substantial enough to support the demand that's out there. So while it is projected we will get more homes this year towards the June, July timeframe for buyers to consider, it's probably not going to be substantial enough to support the demand that we have in the marketplace. So all those factors put together, it's not just our opinion, but nationally a lot of the real estate experts are predicting another solid real estate market in 2021.
Which is great for everybody. I mean, through this whole pandemic, everybody has been scarce with, just going out. We have all types of the proper measures across the board with, our brokerage and all other brokers that we actually go into those listings that, masks required, hand sanitizers, booties. Everybody has taken all the proper precautions to kind of help everyone with growing and keeping everybody healthy and safe through this crazy pandemic.
Right. Yeah, I think our industry is privileged in that we were provided the opportunity to continue to practice, mainly because immediately our Delaware Association of Realtors and members of our real estate community acted appropriately and took the advice and guidelines from the CDC and the state. So we were fortunate in that regard to be able to continue to help buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. So
it's going to be a lot of fun too this coming year for 2021 in our new office to actually have our customers, clients, and everybody come in. We moved into this office in the pandemic. Yeah. So the crazy part is you have this great facility, and it's been tough because for me, I'm a people person, so it's all about relationships and talking and all that type of stuff. So to wear my mask and try and talk, I was raised as a handshake and a hug. Like that's me. I'm that guy. So it's made it difficult in that aspect. But when this whole thing kind of subsides and we get back to somewhat of a normality, and all of our agents are all rubbing elbows and having our peer moments within our office, I think it's gonna be great. So to look forward to this new 2021, I think is very great, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in a good sense. So with that, I'd like to thank Dave for coming in, filling us all in with all this great information. Like I said, I will have some snapshots put into the video that you can see those true numbers to yourself. And like I say, we saute deals. So if you're looking to purchase, if you're looking to sell, feel free, give me a call. I'd love to help you and saute a perfect deal up for you.
Thanks,
so
Tony. Appreciate
until
it.
next time,
Thank
with
you.
our next 302 market update, hang in there.